So I wanted to showcase how I do progression and how highlight like the importance of filters. I just did a video on how I do my filtering, but this is going to be how I actually progress my characters in a very early league. So we're going to assume we have a slam character, like a Berserk slam character, and that one just hit maps, right? We are somewhat rest capped, whatever. And we just hit there. So the difference between using an actual filter and using like a default never think semi-strict. This here, what you see here, is the entire loot minus selling uniques, chromes, and 6 sockets that I picked up in a single map, single white map. I always run everything magic. So this entire tab, this is the relevant loot for my build that I actually need. All of this is garbage. I had to pick up off the ground. I had to leave the map once, basically. And all of this is vendor trash. There's like no way this is good for my build at all. So this was the relevant loot. That was all the fluff, basically. And this is 10 maps with a adjusted filter, like especially on Rare's really strict filter. And I run entirely 10 maps, and that is the loot. Minus selling uniques, chrome items, and 6 sockets, basically. The difference in loot amount is huge. Just look at how much nonsense you're picking up. And yes, I get the point with, oh yeah, if I see it's a wand on the ground, I'm just not gonna pick it up. But why isn't your filter then? Right? It clutters your screen. This here, I also picked up absolutely everything. So that's point number one, and something that's holding back people like a huge amount. And I'm not telling you how to play the game. If you like looking at items, that's cool, right? And enjoy your video game. But the amount in efficiency is huge. And for me, enjoyment as well. I don't want to look at rare items all the time. So how does it actually look like doing that? I'm just gonna show you on like a random like a map here or something. I always have this currency in my inventory, especially very early on. I'm not gonna I'm just gonna run stuff blue, like in wild map territory. And we assume we are very, very just into maps. Let's do one map together. So you see the entire process, and you see some of the interesting benefits with that and how little loot there is. There's one or two, like there is one mistake in my filter. Right now it shows mana flask. It shouldn't show mana flask, so I'm actually gonna ignore them, because in reality I would make a note and adjust my filter immediately. I don't need mana flask on slam build, so I wouldn't even show them. That's entirely the point, right? It's so annoying to have stuff on the ground that you don't need anyway. But I'm gonna pick up pretty much everything else. We even need wisdom still, we even need portal scrolls still, we're super early into the thing. But as you can already see, there isn't really anything dropping at all. So my screen ideally only shows stuff I actually need and actually have value to me in early progression. The random staff, why is that? Probably because it's a 6 socket. Or why? Oh, it's a 5 link, that's why. Okay, it shows 5 links. That might actually be worth selling. But it's not about selling anyway. I'm not going to do a dump tab with like 1C rares and then leave my map for that. Like, that's absolutely not worth it. Okay, this is kind of nutty. Yeah, I mean, that's, by the way, how you league start, right? You go into a tier 1 map and you drop a 5 link and a 6 link. That's basically what's happening. It's kind of funny, I like this. Okay, this map is kind of long, but that's what you would normally do. You just, you map. Obviously, you have a mage plot in maps. Sure. And you just kill your stuff. You're probably pretty much full clearing at this point, I guess, because you just need items. You just need XP right now. At least I don't really care about super fast map progression. You can also just rush the boss if you feel like. But you need to get a map back, right? You need to sustain something. So, you're almost done. So, that's the difference now. If you assume we didn't drop these 2 giga drops there, just like assume they didn't exist, these are just like bonuses, but you only got a little bit of an inventory. That also means if they were not there, because now the inventory is kind of full, nothing is stopping you of not dealing with this right now. You could just go, okay, here, click here, and go next map, right? That's totally fine. If it's kind of full, you would actually go and do different things, right? That's in this case. So you go to the thing, you sell what is sellable, because it's like, I don't know, 6 sockets or something like that. And then you would go here to the dump tab. I typically, while the other map is opening, I just identify stuff already, and I'm just gonna throw everything that is not maps into like my stash. Obviously currency would be just control clicked so it doesn't end up in the dump tab. And that's what I repeat a bunch of times, as long as I'm making progress, right? I don't feel like I need upgrades. I'm not dying, I'm rest capped, I'm okay. I can do this for a bunch of maps without stopping, without ever looking at the actual items, because my character is functioning right now. So what am I looking for? At some point, either if I did a few maps or it's super, super early and I feel like, okay, I have like, for example, some X spaces, I'm gonna craft something, I'm gonna equip my character. What happens then, you have your tab with a bunch of items in there that are relevant to your build, right? What you can do, you can come back and say, okay, this is like your really first turn, super, super new character. You can see, okay, I'm gonna probably need flasks. So maybe you can check if there's like a bleed flask, maybe you need one. You just search for it, we didn't find one, so it's time to roll a flask, for example. Let's build this here. So you have a flask. Did we get any other flask we might need? Probably need a granite, so half of our character is basically done. So the other thing, like with an axe, for example, we can say, okay, we did find a bunch of axes, we need our first axe. So we can see, this one has attack speed as least, this has increased fizz already, nothing, some low added fizz, right? You can just go through the stuff you found literally on the ground. This one has a lot of attack speed. So basically we have the choice between 12 attack speed and 20% attack speed, which is not that bad. And we have right here, like high physical, I can check. This one has an open prefix modifier, so you could do something with that. Maybe you don't, and you say, okay, you didn't find anything in these, but you at least have bases, or you say you want a ball axe anyway. How about we do this? We take a ball axe. You can see if did we find some essence. Or we actually did, or you buy an essence. It's actually a correct one. That's kind of not on purpose. You go ahead, you craft this kind of thing. You get some added physical. That's cool. Then you go here. You do increased physical damage, something like this, like the very low one. I don't know which one is the correct one. Yeah, maybe this one. Maybe you already have a chaos orb somewhere laying around. And you have a weapon. Like, that's basically done. You do have a weapon now. That's cool. So all the other axes are basically done, because you're not going to recraft anything. You can immediately adjust your filter, take out axe bases, maybe only pick up rare ones, right? And remove the tier that is like, I don't know, this one is like level 73 already. So probably before I get a 77x item level, I'm not going to recraft anything. So axes are basically gone for me. From the filter, I don't need to pick them up. That's done. Other than that, boots. Only relevant boots. We can have a look. That one looks pretty good, actually. That one looks okay. Nope. That one looks fine. It's a lot of 30% movement speed ones, honestly. This one is potentially fine. That's like a 20 already. There's another 30, but doesn't really have life and doesn't have space for life. So we got these ones. Okay, these are just insane, honestly. This one you could probably use by crafting movement speed. Well, we have different ones here. Let's say I could craft some life on those. These are very usable. Probably wouldn't use these. And these are kind of fine if you craft movement speed, but you have 2 over 30 in this case. So this is already 4 link. This might be nice. This one, if you have the currency to 4 link, you would just use these. So we are done with boots, which is totally fine. Then we need a helmet. We can check. This one is not too bad. Okay-ish. Nope. 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 So you choose one of these 2. There's like a big cold. These are kind of small things. So we're gonna use this helmet here. That's done. What else do we need? We need gloves. You can check here. This has live fire. That's not that bad. Just live. Live. Okay, cool. We can use these. That's basically fine. We can build a little character here, basically. something like this, and we have a weapon, right? That's pretty nice. We have some flasks already. What else do we need? We need a body armor. That is not terrible, actually. This one looks pretty cool. We have life modifiers on everything, so that's not ideal. But there's 70 life. If you have life modifiers anyway, there's nothing really good in there, but if you really needed one and you cannot be okay with the life modifiers, that is this. Do we need anything else? We already have gloves already. We have a helmet, that's fine. So we're gonna look for rings. Gonna say, okay, we probably want some of these chaos rings here. This one has already life, that's nice. Well, probably we don't want, but we're gonna keep the amethyst ones, right? So we can reforge chaos them for life and chaos resistance. This one we can probably just equip. Other than here, we can check, is there anything crazy on it? Nope, so that's pretty much fine. And then we're gonna see if we found a belt as well. Not really. So on the belt one, I mean, if you needed to equip one, you can do one of these, but belt so far in 10 maps, we probably didn't get an upgrade at all. And what else are we missing? An amulet. I think that's the last one. These are only relevant amulets to you, so you can check which one you want. Is there anything good on it? This one is corrupted, actually has life, all the rest stuff, perfect. So with 10 maps and a proper filter and just the stash tab here, we basically built an entire character that is somewhat usable. You can still craft resistances on that, and you have a relevant character. So in this case, right, assuming like all the stuff you actually like, not the currency and everything, you can equip your character, improve it after like 10 maps or something like that, immediately go and update your filter, right? If you have like items like these, something like that, you're just happy with the item on its current base type, right? This might already be the case where I would not pick up any tier 3 bases anymore. I would go into the filter, disable tier 3 for like armor stuff. I would not do anything below a 77 item level X probably. Amulets and stuff I would probably leave. But on normal base gear, immediately up the tiers. Never pick that stuff up again. You can clean out, in these cases, your stash tab. If you have a lot of them, maybe just leave it, put another new stash tab on top, use that one, and be happier. Also, by the way, for jewels, maybe we did even get lucky and find something. In this case, we did not, because, for example, you would need a mana leech jewel. I don't know, you can go ahead and maybe just make one, right? You have one to roll on. But probably you're just gonna find one or buy one of trade. Is there no leech on it? Sad. But maybe you had it. Anyway, that's basically how I progress. That's what I do all the time. I dump stuff in. If I want to look for upgrades, I do upgrade. I adjust my filter immediately. I clean out the stash tab or take a new stash tab and repeat the process. And only look at stuff every once in a while whenever I need upgrades or whenever I know, okay, new X bases can drop and I'm looking forward to craft something. And it makes the entire progression so much better and so much easier and so much more efficient. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. Bye.